Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode 405 at scavengerlife.com.
What a weird group of people we have gathered here today. I was thinking about that yesterday when I was driving back from DC with a load of I bought a dishwasher and I got a load of free firewood.
We bought another dishwasher. I think we talked about.
Yeah.
We're replacing one at our rental.
We upscaled or whatever.
Upgrade.
But I was just thinking, like this podcast we do is, we don't really know who listens. We get like little emails and stuff from people. It's people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Although heavily based in the U.S. I know we have much different political philosophies very often. We vote for different people, but yet we all have this one thing in common, and that is like this desire to like find things that people are throwing away and selling them.
Yep, or reusing them, but mostly selling them.
Yeah, and it's just such a nicer way to live in my mind than like, this idea of like you always have to have like the best stuff on and you're driving the best car. It's like this it's like this outward vision of how good you are. Instead, it's just like wear really comfortable clothes, drive a super practical car, and then just like scavenge, Yeah. What a way to live.
I love it.
Yep. Okay, so we sold a couple of things this week from the auction that we went to a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I thought I think it's a good kind of example of our way of selling on eBay. So we spent $1,500 at this auction, right?
Which is a lot.
However, only about 1,000 of that was actually stuff we're going to sell on eBay. We spent $500 on like some
artwork
furniture
and artwork for our rentals.
Right. So why don't we say it's 1,000? It took us 2 or 3 weeks to get it all photographed and listed.
It's not all listed, just so you know.
Oh,
there's some little bits and pieces that I still have to list.
But it's about 300 items, I'd say.
I have no idea.
Something like that.
Yeah, sure.
That's going to be my rough.
Yeah, I don't know.
And so this week we actually sold 2 things so they sold quickly. Auction. One was $20 and one was $55. And
one was the week before, which was the lock, which was $80.
And we sold that too.
So what did we sell this week from that auction?
Somewhere where there's like cartridges. There's like CO2 cartridges. Oh
yeah, it's CO2 cartridges.
And then we sold a $55 it's Revere where.
An 8-quart big stock pot. Yeah, that's a nice one. $50.
So if you think about that, if we have, let's say it's 300 items, and let's say on average they sell for $30.
Yeah.
On average, that's $9,000.
Right.
$1,000, you make $9,000. Wow,
over time
you can get rich.
Yeah.
But the problem is
slow.
This is the key, though.
Yeah.
There's always a gap between when we purchase items and when they sell.
Right.
And when I mean gap, I mean it can be a chasm of time.
Oh, right.
It can take. Yeah. Like for us, we are completely cool with like it could take us 4 years to sell all that stuff.
I mean, in total,
years.
Yeah.
Right. So
I don't want to sell it in 4 years.
It's definitely like a pipeline.
Yes.
So that fantasy $9,000, is not going to happen
in like 2 months.
Yeah. It's going to happen over 4 years.
And here's the philosophy behind it. If we wanted to make our money back faster, it wouldn't be $9,000. It'd be less than that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm asking higher prices for better quality things and I'm willing to wait. Yeah. So it's the time plus the price equals that amount.
So it's just like each time we go and get like a big lot of stuff and list it, we think of it as like a pipeline,
Right.
So this pipeline over time is going to make us some money. But then we can't just depend on that. We got to build another pipeline. Let's like buy a bunch of TV remotes from some auction and sell those. Let's like
and those have been selling.
Why don't we break down a coffee maker and sell those parts?
Those have been selling.
Let's gather up all of our old magazines from our rentals and resell those.
We just listed some of those this week.
And then cumulatively, every day
something
we make the money we need to live, but that money's coming from different pipelines.
Right.
$10 magazine, a $30 shirt, yeah,
Right.
that $50, crock pot,
yeah.
whatever,
Yep,
and so
yep,
it all kind of builds up. We never know what's going to sell every day. We just know, well, we don't even know, but we hope
stuff
that
sells
something
every day.
sells every day.
Yeah.
So, and I bring this up because there was a good we were having a conversation on the forum about overanalyzing. One of our guys that hangs out on the a forum, I think he's up in Canada. He was like, he sells, gets his wife as part of their store.
Okay.
And he says, my wife is real bad at overanalyzing views, watchers, etc. on her items and speculating why items don't sell.
Oh, that would make me so depressed.
And we hear about that all the time. People come on the forum and they're like, I just put up something and it doesn't have a single view on it, or two people viewed it and it doesn't have a watcher on it, and it's been 2 days. I'm doing something wrong.
Oh my God.
But he's good though. He's like, I don't focus on all that,
right?
Because all that matters is one buyer, and it's true.
One buyer, right? Yeah. And I know, crazy as that is.
I don't need to have 28 people are watching,
because sometimes
I just need
I'll
one
have
person to buy.
100 people watch something. Or, I'm sorry, not watch it, but view it. No sale.
Yep.
I just need that one buyer,
And he says this, and it's so true. Views and watchers don't matter in the end.
No, they don't.
Right. We could go through the stuff we sold during a week, and I bet at least 25% of them don't have a single person that was
watching them.
Watching it.
That one buyer found it, saw it, said, great, that's what I'm looking for. Bought it.
Yeah. And so, this comes back to like this auction. We all of this stuff we bought, I think one of the biggest mistakes we could make is that if I was watching like a hawk, Ryan just put this up. Why isn't someone watching it? And maybe I need to lower the price or put like a big sale on it.
Look, here's an example real quick of what we just did. We were putting our inventory away that just got photographed last week. And you're looking at all this stuff in your storage. Like I was putting t-shirts away and I'm like, there are a million. I have so many t-shirts. And you look at them and you're like, why isn't, I have so much stuff. But you were saying too, you're like, well, look at all the hangers we have available because we've been selling t-shirts over the last month. So you're like, yeah, it's a pipeline. You got to just, take a chance and be like, someone's going to buy this eventually.
So, and I think that idea of how to run a store where you have to watch things like a hawk and like you're worried, you're questioning it yourself, that can drive people to think that if items don't sell in a short time, that they've done something wrong.
Right.
So the obvious thing would be, well, let me bring my price down. And let me keep bringing it down. And let me keep bringing it down more. Someone else has the same one for $10. I need to do $10 with free shipping, And in the end, it sells, but you don't make any money. Or what people will do is, that I've seen, they'll list 100 items. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, I'm not going to do any more until 100. Some of these sell. And then they just wait and they sit, And then one sells and they're like, okay, I'll do one more item,
Right.
And they're just only allowing themselves to have a really small pipeline, And that's where our elicit and forget it comes in, our strategy, where we will list like all those items from the auction, those 300 items, and we will just forget about them. They are now in our storage. They're on the internet. They are now a Google search term. So when someone, the right person at the right time, 2 a.m. in Cincinnati, Ohio, someone's looking for a
often that is the case.
Crock pot, ours will show up. But it might be 2022 before that happens. In that strategy, I know it's extreme, and
it is extreme.
We try and be really extreme about it because it's so controversial. It's an antidote to the overanalyzing of listings. For us, it's kind of like we need that in our life, because if we don't say we're good with illicit and forget it, I'll start sneaking over. What
is that thing? I do it very rarely, that I will see something in storage like our wooden hangers,
Right.
which I mentioned a couple weeks ago, and they've been selling like crazy because they're $11. I don't want to sell stuff for $11, but I do want these out of my storage. But that's so rare.
Right. I mean,
You know?
to be fair, we do a look at things over time.
Yes.
Like every so often, we'll just get a hair up our butt and we'll just be like, let's look at these things. And
Right.
Oh yeah, like
that's way
this,
too much.
But the reasoning isn't like, oh, why isn't this selling? It's more like this, like I want it gone. Like
I want this gone.
It's taking up too much physical space in our storage.
Yeah.
And I just want it gone.
Right.
I'm done with it, and we'll bring the price down. But this is the key, though. People think, oh, if I just bring the price down, someone will buy it. It normally doesn't happen that way.
It might not happen.
That's why we have to fight ourselves from bringing prices down, because honestly, that doesn't often do anything anyway.
That doesn't solve the problem.
Unless you're selling like kind of Amazon-y, like retail arbitrage stuff, where it's like new items.
You're competing on price, yeah.
And you're competing on price.
Yeah.
I know people recently have been angry because eBay took away the 30-day relist.
Right.
Option.
It's everything's good till canceled.
Because their reasoning is, well, it's good because it takes all those items out of my store, and then I have to put them back in my store, and that gives me the opportunity to check the price.
Sure.
Which is cool.
Right.
For us.
Right.
I don't find that the kind of stuff we sell is so price sensitive that we need to change the price every 30 days.
Yeah.
You know? I can see every 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
Because maybe black pirate slouch boots
are no longer
in trend this season.
Yeah.
But it's not like month to month.
Right, exactly. I mean, that makes sense for our inventory.
Right.
Not everybody's.
Yep. Yeah.
But for our inventory.
Right. That's just, so if someone's new and they're like, how do I sell on eBay? I mean, we are talking about a very specific way to sell. It's like, get a cup of coffee, sit down, and you got to think about the long-term strategy. And it's like, not what you're going to sell in a week. It's like, how do I build up a store, and what am I going to be making in a year?
You know, when I sat down and listed 100 remote controls that we bought, I mean, granted, I didn't take photos of them, but I was like researching and listening to them.
Stereos.
My mom was laughing at me. She was like, how many of those do you have? Because she saw, she sees as I'm listing, you know, all these things. But it's so funny because, one of those remotes sold for $80 the other day. What? I mean, sell anything for $80. It doesn't matter to me what it is, if it's a remote control or not.
A lot for what, 50 or
No,
something?
it was 100.
100 for all of them?
It was almost like $1 each.
Gotcha.
It was like $1 because it wasn't quite 100. It was like, it was like $1 each. And for us, we're like, look, if we can sell some for 25, some for, 80, some for 50. Some of them are worth nothing. Some of them are worth $9. But yeah. Yeah. That's like amazing.
So really, I mean, at the end of the day, for us, because it's all about like not having anxiety. Because I think that's where the watching your items like a hawk thing, it's like about, I think it's about anxiety about, have I done something wrong? So for us, it's like, okay, we take good photos.
Yeah.
We do the research.
Yep.
So we understand what the item is.
Right.
We write a good title.
Yes.
We price it appropriately because we've done the research, and you list it. You're done.
You're done. I mean, look, you answer questions, you field offers, you ship stuff.
And then you just trust that your skills are correct, and you move on to the next item. And you don't think about that anymore.
That's why we say list it and forget it.
Yeah. And one other reason why I think some people I've seen really watch their items like a hawk, and like they wait to list, and they'll only list 100 is because they're playing the game with their listing fees. They're only trying to list within their free listings, or we don't do that. So I don't really understand the boundaries people put on themselves. But for us, it's all about like, if this is a job, if this is like your business, get a store subscription. They give you X number of listings in that store subscription.
Within that price.
That's a monthly sunk cost.
Right.
So list as many as you can within that subscription and then be good with that, you know? So each one you do doesn't cost you any more because it's within that. I mean, we pay for, we're like the anchor. And what is it? Is it
$300 a month?
$300 a month.
Base rate.
Sunk cost.
Yeah.
So no matter if we list 1,000 or 10,000, it's going to cost us $300. So we try and list as many as we can. We actually only have 8,200 items, so we're like missing out on 1,800 items.
I can't get up. I mean, stuff sells enough that I can't get up that high, but that's fine.
But then that also, just getting the subscription fees takes away the anxiety of, oh no, I'm paying 25 cents a listing per month. You know?
Right.
But now we know $300 a month for us pays
just
for everything.
The base rate.
No problem.
Yep.
This can be up there for a year. It does not matter.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we did just put a bunch of stuff up that was taking pictures of, and I was going through some of the boxes. And I'm like, oh my God, we've had this for probably 6 years.
The funny thing is,
long.
there's some bins that I go through, and I'll look at this stuff, and I'll be like, what is this stuff? But I'm like, well, the reason I'm in this bin is because something in this bin sold.
Right.
So, you know, it's not...
And I think, you know, this thing hasn't sold in so long, but it's small. It's not taking a lot of space.
I'm not thinking about
it's
it.
It's not
like,
costing
whatever.
me anything per month to keep it up because it's just part of our subscription fee. It's listed, so we've done the work already and put the work up front. Like, what's the point of like...
I mean, there are times, like, it's really funny that we sold this a few weeks ago. It was that fabric sample book. I mean, there are times that I'm like, I need to get rid of this thing. I look at it every time I'm in this bin. It's been years, and then it's sold.
Right.
Granted, it sold for $3, but still.
Well, that's because we did that
I didn't have to touch it.
Where we actually lowered the price and lowered it until
it was like the lowest thing.
But maybe that person was the right person, and they
would have bought it for $15 or whatever. But yeah, it is funny.
It's about being emotional about those items.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this week. What's your gut reaction?
I feel like there were some high-priced items that sold, so that helped. So my gut is it was a medium-high week. Not a high week, a medium-high.
See, I felt the same way. I was like, I felt like we were selling stuff. It felt pretty, consistent. But we would both be wrong.
Okay, so it was really slow.
It was a lot slower. So we only sold one item over 100. Well, actually, it was exactly $100.
It was $100.
And then we sold 6 items that were just at $50.
Okay.
And then everything else sold for under, So our average price was about $32. We sold 40 items, so we made about $1,300.
Okay, $1,300. I was thinking about $1,500. Yeah. So
it felt like, but we made a less this week than a week ago.
Yeah.
But it felt
I think because
busier.
It felt like more items. I felt like I was packing a lot.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So we were also out of town for one night. So I had to change my handling time, and I packed like 15 things on Saturday morning. So
so that's kind of arbitrary. $1,300, good, bad, slow, fast. Okay, so that's why recently on the forum we've been talking about what's your survival goal,
right?
And that's what what's the number you need to make every week.
Yeah.
To pay your bills.
Pay your bills.
Where the police will not come to your house.
The sheriff's not evicting you.
Right.
Yeah.
And for us, that's about $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
Other people, it could be, a different number. So there's a guy in the forum, Doubly Thumbs. He's our neighbor up in West Virginia. He actually just left his job. It kind of... He could tell the job was not... It sounded like they were downsizing or something or losing funding at the school.
He could see...
So it was a perfect time, and he had been selling for a long time. So he's kind of, like any of us do, when you go full-time, you're it.
You depend on you.
And the way I would describe it, it's like having a full-time job where you get paid every 2 weeks with benefits.
Right.
It's like being on a cruise ship. You're like, you got your room and you get to go to the buffet and it's just kind of like it's all there for you.
Yeah.
And working for it yourself is like jumping off the cruise ship.
Yeah, it is. Without a life jacket.
Into the ocean.
It's like jumping. It really, look, when we went independent back in 2005, 2006, it felt like that. It really did. It was just like, okay, we gotta do something here.
Right.
You know?
And it's like you're in the ocean with a nothing and you just have to start grabbing stuff in the ocean and building like a life raft.
Right.
And once you build a life raft, then you can build a bigger boat and a bigger boat. And boat. You just like, and then you are in a storm and it's crazy, but you learn how to get through that storm, and then you're like, oh, I can handle this.
And then everyone on the cruise ship who loses power, just like that one in Norway,
and they get the
and they don't know what to do,
virus,
right,
and they're
exactly.
like throwing up off the thing,
and you're just like, hey,
eating fresh fish. But you know, that's basically what we've been talking about. So what he actually brought up was something good. You know, we got him to talk about his survival goal. You know? Right.
And
he has
what's
one
rock bottom
number for that, and he's actually hitting that every week. So I'm like, dude, you're doing fine.
Yeah.
But he says, but what makes him it's nervous is that then he is like a comfort
number.
Yeah, a comfort.
Yeah, of course.
And that's a higher number. And then we were talking about, well, what does comfort mean? And you know, he then talked about, well, I want to put a new roof on my house,
right?
And I want to put new siding, and you know, and it's good. We all need those goals, but I think that it's good to have those two numbers in your head. I made my survival goal for the week.
Right, like my bills will all get paid.
I can sleep okay.
Yeah.
But then it's good to work for that a number every week. Like, well, what do you think our comfort number every week would be?
Our comfort numbers, it just makes me laugh because it's like double. I mean, it's like double. Yeah. You know, like our rock bottom number is 1,000 to pay all our mortgages. This is like business mortgages, not our own. If it was just us in our house, like we'd be like, we can make $300 a week, like nothing. Right. But I say our comfort number for like being able to pay for other projects or save money and pay down a mortgage is like $2,000 a week. Yeah, 2,000 is like 2,000 is like 2,500. I'm a little bit comfortable. Yeah, like $3,000. I mean, 3,000. You're like, I'm gonna buy a Tesla as soon as possible. I'm just kidding. Yeah, 3,000 would be good. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's like pretty good. But you know, these are the conversations that everyone should be having. Either it's with themselves or with their partner. You know? These are good numbers. It is. It's good numbers. I mean, it gets a little scary when you have slow weeks and you're like, ugh. I mean, I don't know if I can say this, but, you know, Steve Schultz, he does the Wednesday What's Sold video. So check out the blog, and you can see his video where he shows the things he sells. When he sent us that on Wednesday, he said he had made $100 on eBay. By Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So the thing about his store, though, like we talk about, is he has a lot of high dollar items. So he could sell $1,000 item on Thursday and be like, I'm good. He often makes as much or more than we do, but it's because he's like he's like a very specific kind of scavenger where he's like going to guys' houses who have like a yard sales, and he'll be like, is there any like stereo equipment? And the guy will come down like, here's this beautiful 1960s like mid-century modern. But he's also willing to repair things. Yeah. So, you know, his prices reflect that, where he's repaired it, he's tested, he's going to ship that thing, so it is not going to get damaged. So it's going to be interesting to hear from Steve. I hope he comes on the forum and posts his numbers. If by Wednesday he only sold $100 on eBay, I wonder what his number is like now, because he might have sold like couple big things, couple $1,000 amps or something. Right, I know it is. But I only bring that up because it has seemed like people aren't buying as much. Someone on the forum was like, you know, ever since people who get regular paychecks have more money in their paychecks and less money coming for tax refunds, that people aren't as spendy. Right. Because around tax refund time, traditionally people are like, I just got $1,500.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go buy some stuff.
I hit the lottery.
You know, so
I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Okay, things we sold. I don't know. I was just going through our store. We just sold a bunch of just totally random
wooden hangers.
housewares, and we actually sold a bunch of pants. You know, like
I don't know why.
bags. But it was interesting. So we did sell 2 more of those coffee parts.
Yes, I did.
Those parts that you took apart our coffee
from our coffee maker, yeah.
And 2 more parts, and they sold for $80 total,
which is great.
And so I looked. We've sold a total of 13 parts.
Okay.
For $446.85.
So we paid for. Okay, wait. So the original coffee maker cost $100.
We bought the new one for $350. $450. We
paid for both coffee makers,
and
that was my goal.
And we still have 22 parts that are waiting to be sold.
It's 22 parts from the original one, because I have another one of the same brand.
Just from
my goodness, there's a lot of parts in those machines.
Because I can remember. I mean, this is all you.
Yeah.
I think you spent 2 or 3 days and
just every single
taking
piece
it apart, and I think you found a site that had all the parts.
Several of the parts.
Figuring out how, like, can I take this part into more parts?
Right, right. And someone returned a part, and I parted out that part because it was broken in one spot.
And a number I said was even because 2 pieces got returned.
Right.
That's not
very
including
good.
Those 2.
And, obviously there's eBay fees and stuff. Right. But, yeah.
But that
did it. We did it.
That's simply a personal fun goal for our scavenging.
Like,
because it's
that old machine parts paid for our new machine.
It feels very like empowering and like
that's it. Like, I'm staring at our machine. Yeah. That's free.
That's right.
I mean, my labor went into it, obviously, but
we're like,
with the rest of those parts, that'll cover my labor. Yeah,
yep.
Literally we are.
Jawas from Star Wars. Okay.
Yep.
Scavenge of the week. We did a little bit of scavenging. What did we get? Just like, God, clearly there wasn't anything spectacular. I went to a thrift store by myself, which never happens. Yeah. I bought some cool stuff there. It wasn't anything to write home about. Right.
But I did go by myself.
Yeah.
I was like, I know this thrift store on the way to Lowe's, and I had to go to Lowe's by myself.
Customer issues. This week it happened mainly in the beginning of the week. We had 3 items purchased. Just like 3 different people bought some things and then like canceled it because they were just confused. And we only bring this up because it's just so frustrating. Like, someone bought something and then said, "Oh, I didn't know I had to pay to ship it." Or something.
No, this is like a 1 to 2 pound item. I live in Virginia. They live in like Idaho. And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know it would be that much to ship." I'm like, well, first of all, it says it on the listing. Right. You have like 400 feedback, so you did know that.
That's our coffee maker.
So there's our coffee maker cleaning itself.
Automatic.
So loud.
It's a super automatic.
It is. Shut up, machine. So I actually wrote to that person. Usually we ignore that and we just do unpaid item case, opened automatic unpaid item case now after 2 days. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be like, look, that's how much it costs. You live 2,500 miles from me. That's how much the post office is charging. And, it says it on all the listings. I was very fact-based. I was just like, this.
Good for you.
Because it was annoying. Yeah. It's like a $35 sale. I took an offer. Oh, I took $20 off the price. I'm just like, come on. Yep. I forget what the other ones were. Maybe I just blocked them out.
They're just random. Just like... But it's just, I don't know. I feel like we haven't really had returns lately.
No.
But now we're getting these people make offers, then they don't want to pay because of some reason. And it's just strange that these things seem to come in and it's no conspiracy. It's just
it comes in waves. Yeah.
Humans like to find patterns, so that's a pattern.
That is a pattern, yeah.
Cool. We just sold something for $22.49.
What was it?
A Microsoft original black Xbox game console controller.
Oh, it's an Xbox controller.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yep. Okay. Things we learned in the forum. Yeah, we were talking about the survival goal, comfort goal.
It's a very good set of numbers, I think.
I think it's really important to know that. Because without knowing what you're trying to accomplish,
you're flying blind.
Yeah,
you're just like, and one of the reasons we started doing our numbers in the first place was us being like, man, it was a slow week, and then we do the numbers and we'd be like, oh, no, it wasn't.
I will tell you why we started to post our numbers. So back when we started this podcast in 2013, there were starting to be on a YouTube and on like blogs, people talking about it reselling on eBay.
Right.
And we wanted to differentiate ourselves from people who were kind of like overhyping.
Yeah. You're going to make $1 million.
Yeah. I would watch these people's things or hear them talk about, they would do like Goodwill hauls. And
right.
I bought all this. I'm going to make $5,000.
And you're like, but did you make $5,000?
Or, people are like, you can make so much money. And I'm like, well, how much can you make? Like, how much are you making?
How much?
Like, how much do you actually make? Like,
no one would answer that.
I want to know that,
Yeah.
And so we were like, well, let's just start doing that. Every week, let's just say how much money we gross.
And how many things do we have in our store?
Right.
How many things do we sell?
Right. I mean, there are people that now on our forum that actually post even better numbers.
Like way more detailed than us.
But they're, I think, better at like accounting. I mean, I do like how much we gross, how much we spend on that inventory, how much we pay our helpers,
Right.
And then you can just easily discount 13.5% for eBay and PayPal.
Well, it's the, I guess that's like cash flow. You're like, this is my cash flow.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to have fees and expenses and blah, 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 but this is what's coming in. And
But basically I'm just trying to give people, so when people come across our podcast or they come across our forum, our blog, they get a sense of, these people, like,
I'm not making $10,000 a week, though I wish I was.
Yeah, like
I'm not.
We're not like able to buy $600,000 houses.
Right.
But it's it's a living.
Well, it
ain't much, but it's a living.
What? It helps us do other things too.
Right.
It pays our bills, and then we're doing other things, and that's that.
Yeah. It's not much, but it's honest work.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go to the calls or questions that people sent in.
So you can email us an audio file from your phone, and our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com, or you can call our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486.
Hello, and thanks for the podcast. I'm Mr. Samsonite1 in the forum. I sell on eBay, Amazon, and at the swap meet. I've been selling at the swap meet for 5 years. It seems that many in the reselling community view selling at the swap meet as an unsophisticated way to resell, but it could be used for many resellers to increase profits. There are many different levels of swap meet vendors. There are people that go once and they're done. There are some that are semi-vendors. There are regular vendors that go every week. Your swap meet operation can be as basic or advanced as you want it to be. Lately, I've been taking items that I would normally sell on eBay for $40 or under and sell them at the swap meet. For example, I sold a baseball bat for $14 at the swap meet, which I would normally sell for $30 on eBay. After eBay fees, I would only be earning an extra $10 to list the item on eBay, ship it, handle returns, and questions. In this scenario, it is much better to just sell at the swap meet. The swap meet is great for people that have an abundance of inventory in which they will never be able to list all their items. The swap meet comes with pros and cons. The pros are the swap meet is excellent for repeat buyers in which you can build relationship with. Every week I see at least 200 people that I recognize and are repeat buyers. I don't know them all by name, but I certainly recognize them throughout the years. There are some customers that I can just hand them an item and I know they're going to buy it. It's pretty cool. The number 2 pro is there are not many returns. Since people get to see the item and try it out a little bit, it is unlikely they will return it. Even if something goes wrong with an item, there is a good chance the customer will just won't bring it back. Also, it is unlikely the customer will come up with a bogus story because they have to tell it to your face, and it's unlikely they're going to try to make something up. Number 3 pro is that you can network with vendors and customers to sell things or buy new inventory. Number 4 pro is it's fun. I enjoy just the time there. The cons of the swap meet are the weather, the rain, your stuff could get damaged. Number 2 con is the swap meet's not for everyone. Many people complain about the long days, the heat, the porta potties. Doesn't really bug me that much, and then number 3 con is that your items could get damaged loading and unloading and moving things around. Number 4 is only certain things sell at the swap meet, mainly everyday items, stuff people are familiar with, cookware, tools, DVDs, clothes, electronics, home decor, etc. You wouldn't sell parts to coffee maker at the swap meet. There is a learning curve, and it takes some time to build a client base, so it's not for everyone. It could be useful for many. I use the swap meet to maximize my profit, and it has to make sense to sell it at the swap meet. There are some items that will only go for $5, for example, at the swap meet, but they'll go for like $80 on eBay. So in that example, for sure you're selling on eBay. On the other hand, there are large items that are hard to pack that you can get $50 at the swap meet, but you only get $80 on eBay. So it just makes sense to just sell it at the swap meet. It takes some trial and error to figure out what is good for the swap meet, but when you do, you can sell things faster and improve cash flow. So that's about it. Sorry for the long message. Thanks again for the podcast. Take care.
Okay, Samsonite One. Yes, thank you for calling in. Yes, I love swap meets. I'm assuming is like a flea market.
Like a flea market.
I feel like it's a regional
it's called something different.
Like swap meet, I think of people actually trading stuff, but I think what he's talking about
is like a flea market.
What I would think of a flea market.
Yeah.
I love flea markets.
Yeah.
Like you said before, we kind of get in these different moods. Lately we've been all about auctions,
right?
But now that spring is coming, flea markets. I love flea markets.
Yeah, there's a really great flea market near us that Jay loves,
and the ones I love is, maybe it sounds like the one that you're talking about, big open field,
right?
People pull up in their car, they have like a table in front of them, and everything must go, and then at the end of the day, everything's gone.
Right.
We're not talking about like the antique flea markets that are like in buildings, people pay for a booth, and they just shove it full of like their collectibles, and everything's really expensive.
Yeah. Although there are some people like that.
Yeah, I mean,
generally.
I don't think it's a bad way to sell. My point has been, most of the guys I see at flea markets only sell at flea markets.
Right. It's not.
And they're selling stuff cheap enough where I can go and buy things and resell them on eBay and make a lot more money. And the reason why, because I know some of these guys, the reason why they do that is because it's all cash.
Yeah.
They go buy stuff at an auction and then just sell it all on Saturday, and then they have cash money in their pocket. No,
they don't
taxes.
have to report it. I mean, they should. They're supposed to,
and
but they
want to get rid of stuff quick.
Yeah.
So it's just a different. Although that's an interesting idea, like sell on eBay, and then the stuff you want to get rid of,
just go sell it at the
or that's too hard to pack. Yeah. Go sell at the yards. I mean, totally. At the flea market.
I think the thing is, that's too much work for me. I don't want to have to leave my house.
Well, it is a thing where you have
spend
to
all day,
get there early on a Saturday, because a lot of those guys are up at 6. You know,
they're
actually there and set up at 6. Yep. You have to unload and load, especially those people. They're bringing furniture and tires, and they have to then pack all that stuff again.
I mean, the great thing about shopping at a flea market or a swap meet is a lot of times those people don't want to bring the big stuff back, and they're like, just take it, anything,
Oh, man. People are probably at the flea market right now. It's such a great day
You
for
better
it.
get up and go.
It's too late. Yeah, by the time it's like 12 o'clock, it's like too late.
I mean, people are packing up because they've been there so
I think that's a
long.
cool thing, too. He says that he seems to enjoy the community, and it's true. It's the same kind of people coming by. A lot of times it's the same people that come and sell.
Yeah.
So people get to know each other. I talked to one guy who only sells at flea markets. He's like, cash in hand, cash in hand. He loves to go, and then he buys from other people.
Yes.
And resells that, you know? So,
just so funny.
It's just another a way to sell.
Another way to do it.
And it's just like the people who live in urban areas and they sell this kind of stuff on like Facebook Marketplace
or Craigslist.
Where they're buying like pieces of furniture that is difficult to sell on eBay, then they just sell on Facebook.
Yeah, for no fees.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's a different way to do it. And I know some people who actually do get a booth at an antique mall.
Right.
Because it's relatively cheap, I guess.
Yeah.
And they basically just use it as storage.
Yeah. They're like, if it sells, that's a bonus.
And then if things sell, it just helps them pay for their storage. So they put all their little gewgaws in there.
Yep, exactly.
Okay,
that is it for the podcast this week. You can check out the blog at scavengerlife.com for the links we discussed and to join the conversation on the forum. You can leave a question or a comment on our voicemail line. Again, that phone number is 540-407-8486, or you can email us an audio file. Our email is thescavengerlife@gmail.com. We post an episode every Monday morning. On Wednesday, we post a What Sells video, currently being brought to you by Steven Schultz. You can subscribe to our Patreon account and help support us for as little as $5 a month. You can subscribe to us through iTunes or YouTube for free, so you always get the latest episode. You can buy our archive of 5 years worth of podcasts, so you can download and listen offline on your devices. That's on the sidebar. It says download all. We are ending this podcast in 3, 2, 1. Bye.